Yeah, it looks like Clamp's able to fend off that first volley. Let's see where the next wave comes.
Yeah, as you said, the defense is going to be much more vital. You definitely don't want to die. You're going to lose a whole lot just by getting fragged that one time. But on the flip side, once you do die, the defense is going to fall apart pretty quickly. So that when this ball starts rolling with the frags, it's going to start rolling fast, and we're going to see a resolution of this by someone pretty soon.
Yeah. Now, Swoop, being faced off here, ID, a little bit better stack. And we've got Swoop down to 3 health. Down he goes. ID, 32 health. On the way out, Swoop's fresh spawn. There it is. Okay, so we got
the first flag is returned.
Onslaught return.
Mr. SD pushing a little bit with only 30 health, but it looks like he's just going to be soaking up some health, soaking up some damage. And he's making actually a push into the room with only a handful of health. Now grabbing that 50 is definitely going to help, but with all that LG coming at him, it's going to soak up pretty quickly. I assume that he was just wanting to do some damage to the defense, get a frag in, not really even going for the flag, but wanting to get a kill just so that, you know, with that respawn delay, someone else can get in and have a much easier time of it.
Now Swoop has extended his defense out to mid. And I'm really kind of curious to see how this pans out for him. It is a switch up. Swoop, for the most part, has been playing sort of the higher base defense. He's backed off. Now, he has no armor. He is full health. We do have a flag pickup, and it's going to be Mr. SD. 44 health in the center. Down he goes.
Plasma and LG coming from both sides, and he's going down.
Now, Clamp just died.
Into overtime now. Oh.
We do have a flag grab. It's ID.
We have ID with the flag.
He's going to get double teamed. Down he goes. There's the return. But we're looking at extremely long spawn times now, guys.
This is the point where attack coordination definitely has to come into play, because what we're seeing a lot of now is trying to get out of the base with that flag, then being more than aware with it. Ooh, now we're seeing it come from WhoRunIt, seeing several of WhoRunIt inside the base, 3 of them I believe. But if you don't have somebody defending your rear, defending your front, you're going to get
IDs through the center. He uses a medkit. Medkit saves his life, and this is going to be it right here.
And there we go. Shit. So we have 1 to EG and 1 to WhoRunIt.
Fantastic.
And if this is the best 2 out of 3, we have a decider coming right up.
Yeah. Now, look at the deaths here. Okay, for the offense, we were in like the 70s and the 50s for WhoRunIt. So, I mean, a lot of throwing themselves into traffic there. But let's see what the tiebreaker is. I mean, good lord. CTF 2, perhaps. Indeed, it will be. So, looks like if it is, yeah, CTF 2, then we're going to be looking at a much more defensive map than this one. So, the potential for a low-scoring game is there. However, the way these teams have been playing, I mean, that was such a fast-paced Ironworks. That was ridiculous. Kane, just joined the team, man.
Yep. Oops. Now, isn't this the map that was the decider during QuakeCon between these two teams as well?
I believe it was.
And this is definitely a map that, you know, it went into overtime, and for a good reason. As fast-paced as Ironworks is, Troubled Waters can be a much slower, much more turtle-dependent map than most of the others. And that's mostly due to the fact that besides that water, there's only a handful of ways into the base. In Ironworks, you have multiple entrances, multiple exits, but here you've got, you know, the main 2 pathways. You can come in from the side. That definitely helps out quite a bit. But as far as getting to the flag, you do have to go with that jump pad unless you want to do some fancy rocket footwork. But other than that, you've got the water, and that's slow.
Well, and I
so it
think
takes a lot of coordination.
I think you said the magic words. Rocket footwork. Because on this map, this is really where your flag carrier's movement makes the difference between a flag dropped in the flag room and a flag that gets out to the center. Really, with Ironworks, you know, sometimes you see some fancy rocket work getting out of like just the very beginning part of the base, but really, on this map, it's almost essential with the fact that it's very rare that you're going to get any sort of control over the other team's base. So, you're basically there to either distract or grab the flag and get out as soon as humanly possible.
And if you watch any CTF2 defrag runs, humanly possible is pretty freaking fast on this map.
Yeah, it really is. Now, a couple of the common things you're going to see is...
the goal of EG is F3'd.
Yeah, from this flag platform, you can do a rocket jump that gets you out to either side. And those are usually sort of the primary exits that you'll see. Now, it is possible, I should say, that it is possible to, you know, to do it without rocket jumping. You can actually, this little torch guy right here acts as a footstool. So if you do it just right, you can actually use this as a stepping stone. But it's pretty rare to see that. Most of the time, because it takes time to do, most of the time you're going to see rocket jumps like what we're seeing Dehang do right there. That's a nice example of it. And there's another one there where, you know, you'll try to get across the middle of the map as quickly as possible. But that being said, it's also very common, and so teams expect it. Now, I've been trying to figure out who, for WhoRunIt's going to be running the center. Who's going to be running the railgun. And if we go and take a look at this area right here, this is where the railgun spawns. We'll see it appear in just a second. There it is. And so this spawns on either side. This is a perfectly symmetrical map. And so coverage of this middle area really becomes the key to winning the map. I mean, it's one thing to have a great defender, and that's all nice, but if you cannot control this center area, then 9 times out of 10 you will lose this map. And do we have any predictions about who's going to be able to handle that between the two teams?
Oh boy, just from history, well, it's gone both ways. Dehang, very strong player, very strong movement tonight, of course, as always, but, you know, this, especially the middle area, very dependent on the rail. You have two, you know, overlooking platforms from both, so besides from what you usually see, you're not going to see a lot of direct running because that's going to be going right into the open arms of whoever's on the rail. You're going to see a lot of side play and a lot of variation in the movement on getting across the mid. We might even see some water play, but it's any man's game at this point.
Yeah, and one thing that really gets overlooked, especially in pubs, but should not be overlooked by these two teams, is the control of the red armor. And let me fly in towards that here. It is in the water, and you will probably see right at the very start of this map, you will see at least one player from either side make a rush for that resource. Because, you know, the defenders typically get the 2 yellow armors that are in the bases. I'm going to take a look at those. Alright, you got 1 yellow armor here, and then there's 1 more right here, inside the base proper. So you usually see those yellow armors and the mega health that is down here in the water. Usually at this spot it's currently vacant, but you'll see a mega health there. So those are the resources usually left to the defenders. That means everything else goes, you know, what's left, which is really armor-wise, this red armor plus a couple of shards. That's what the offense has to work with. So usually we'll see some very tight battles for that one and only armor resource.
Prepare your team.
Here we go.
Well, hopefully after all that they don't forget about the flag, and here we go underway in 3 seconds. We're gonna have this going.
Fight.
I watch Dehang out of the gate.
Looks like Dehang is making, yep.
It looks like
Plasma coming off of that, you know, Dehang not having that rail, gonna make a big difference right now.
Impressive.
yeah, he has a railgun, and The first red was picked up. I'm not quite sure by who. I'm going to watch the hang though a little bit longer as he is currently making a push in. So now